On Wednesday, 7 August, I was at Johor Bahru's checkpoint at about 8:40 a.m. It was really empty. This male officer, Ashraf, he was being very verbally abusive towards me. So I told him to stop. He refused. So I took out my camera. First, he actually waved, smiled, and gave a peace sign. Can you imagine this sort of people? Secondly, he went back to shouting and yelling at me with really aggressive hand gestures. Then after that, thirdly, he was like, give me your passport, give me your passport. I said, no, I'm not going to give it to you because I know once he has it, he's going to confiscate it and then I'll be stuck here. But when I went to counter 9, he made the junior officer, who was obviously too scared to say no to his senior, give him the passport. So look, now it's in his hands. He took it, he walked to an office, I followed him, I asked him to give it back to me. He just wouldn't. So they held onto my passport, just laughing here and there, and then they said this.
No, I'm not deleting the video. Do I have the reason to be here?
Hello, is there any Singaporean here? Hello, any of you Singaporeans? Look at these cowards, just hiding and peeping out. They were keeping me there for no reason, just holding on to my passport, playing some waiting game so that I would delete the video of that horrible officer. They have no right to do that. Such abuse of power. So I continued going outside the office, asking if there were any Singaporeans. Could they help me? I told them what happened. And then the chief just came out and she just pushed me in. She didn't want me to ask for help or speak to people anymore. Yet, they still want to keep me there and not give me my passport. Then 3 task enforcement officers came in and said, you're going to be detained. So they brought me into the office, sat me in the meeting room, and they were just waiting. And this officer said to me, I love putting handcuffs on Chinese women because their wrists are always so slim and they always look very sweet. You know the meaning of sweet? Very pretty in handcuffs. Have you ever worn handcuffs before? I bet you look really good. Your wrists are really small and you're very fair. Then they left, so I was left alone. There's a wearing glass panel in the meeting room where you can look out in the office. 2 Malay male officers came in and they're looking at me and then they started smiling, they started waving, they started giving really cheeky kind of look. Went to right at the corner of their desk and continue, looking at me and like talking about me. Suddenly, I saw one guy lift up his phone with the pink cover at me, snapped it, put it down. I went out of the room, I stood in front of him. He literally was looking at my picture at the very moment on the phone. I said, you cannot take my picture. He was so shocked. He didn't know I saw it. And then I caught him. He stood up and he shouted so loudly at me, and then he started using his body to keep pushing me back harder and harder into the meeting room, and each time he was shouting louder and louder. And when we reached the door, he wanted to punch me. He raised his fist and 3 male officers had to physically put their hands on him to hold him back. He really was trying to punch me. I'm not joking. And then after that, he got even angrier. He took off his jacket, threw it on the floor, and raised his arm and tried to punch me again. This time, 2 other male officers had to step in. One had to push me back into the room quickly and close the door. The other had to stand between us to create as much distance as possible. And then all 4 of them had to push him back to the corner. This kind of psychotic male officers, so willing and able to hit a female. The thing is that no one was shocked at what he did, Everyone was laughing. Like, why you take your picture so obvious? Why you show her? See later lah. I understand Malay. Above average. This is that crazy jerk who tried to assault me. And you know what's sick? Muhammad Saifiq. After I came out, I saw him liking so many of my posts on IG and TikTok. He's creep. I cannot believe it. The chief, everyone came out, they were talking about he wasn't even disciplined. I was like, in Singapore, this, you get fired, you know, right? And charged in court. But it was like a funny shenanigan. And they sent another task officer to come sit in the room with me to protect me. He left the door open so I could hear. And what I was hearing, it was so scary, the sentiment that they had towards Singaporean Chinese. The Malaysians, they really hate Singaporean Chinese. Just kept insulting them. That whole energy, I could sense it. And they were saying Singaporean Chinese, they think they're so smart, but they're really dumb and they're just so arrogant and self-entitled. Made me feel as though they are taking it out on me. Because this is such a small matter. I have no idea why they want to keep blowing this up. Police officer came, he had to interview me. So he asked me what happened. Now I told him, it literally was just said in 3 sentences. And then he looked at me. That's it. This is a very small matter. Why are they detaining you? I said, exactly, I told him that. And he just looked at me, he looked down, wrote a few words, and then he left. You see? So I really feel they've caught a Singaporean Chinese fish, and it's fun to go power trip on her. After this, task enforcer came to me, and then she handcuffed me. Never been handcuffed before. It is heavy. And then she said, now you're being detained. The video that I got of this officer, he was really verbally very abusive and a lot of verbal harassment. You see, it was that bad that they would even hold me and choose to detain me just to delete the video. Okay, they deleted, I cannot show you, but understand just how bad it was. Okay, that they had to do that. So 20 minutes after they detained me in the meeting room, I thought this was just so stupid. Oh my gosh. You want to keep me in a cell for 14 days just to delete a video? Sure. Oh my gosh. But before that, I sent it to a whole group of people and I emailed it to myself and I hid it at some apps so that I can show you I deleted it, but actually, no, I haven't. So I said, I'll delete it. It's very simple. That's what you want, right? And you'll let me go? I said, yeah, I'll delete, no problem, come take a look. But now you know what they say? No. If you want, yes, but you have to give us your phone now. What? The corruption and just how illegal it gets just gets higher and higher, you know? What? Why do I have to give you my phone now? You have my passport, you have my phone. They say, yeah, we will extract the video through forensics. Okay, so know how bad that officer behaved, okay, Ashraf. It was that bad that they wanted to use forensics to delete it. That bad, okay? So just know it, since I can't show you. So they said, do that or we're gonna detain you longer, or we can just take your phone and we're gonna say you're not cooperating. At this point in time, I was really just, there was no way out. There was nothing I could do. So I gave them my phone. That was it. I knew that was it. There's no way of getting out of this. I think they decided right from the start, if they have a chance and some fun to go create trouble for Singaporean Chinese, why not? They are already a group of very corrupted force. This is something that they'll do. And it's just really bad luck. I showed up at the wrong time, wrong day, wrong place. I'm literally so exhausted from telling the story. I'll talk about the days that I was there day by day. By the way, it was cut by half to 7 days. Why? Because I said 2 very powerful words: Singapore Embassy. And they don't want trouble with Singapore.